Now if you saw the camera being mounted here, it means this car has sunroof, alright? So that you can have a better view on the dashboard and interior and all that. So this bugger here is the G30, and I've driven it earlier on when it was first launched. I went to the showroom and was looking at other things, and then she was like, would you like to drive the G30? And then I drove that car. So I was sort of the first Malaysian who reviewed the G30 locally. And then wow, the motorcycle is there. Anyway, now this car, is it nice to drive? Do I even need to talk about that? Because this is a BMW. And the moment you hop in, right, you're like, wow, it handles so well, right? Now, compared to its segment, surprisingly, you'll be hearing this more often. I've been driving this over the course of a few days, right? In terms of, and I went up to some really nice curvy roads and all that. In terms of handling dynamics, yes, it is better than the E-Class, no doubt about that. You can hop in and hop out in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you can tell that immediately. What surprises us is how far Volvo has gotten, because the S90 doesn't lose out to this. It doesn't. Maybe the 5 is here, maybe the S90 is like really near. In terms of normal driving, you just, you know, throwing the cars in and out of corners and all that, going through undulations, speed bumps and all that, the S90 doesn't lose out at all. And of course that car is a lot faster than this, because yes, this is the 2-liter twin power turbo engine with 254 of 252 horsepower. And even if I go into sport mode, I'm in sport mode now, it's red. You can see, I'm gonna floor my throttle now. You notice that it was about 1 second lag, and that 1 second, a 2-liter Audi turbo Audi, or the Volvo S90 would have sped off. And yes, even in sport mode, while I'm already on the move, as I put down my throttle in more than midway, because when you throttle more than half, it sort of indicates to the car that you want to downshift. 1, 2, 3. I still get that lag, you know, I still get that that thing is still there. But on the move, on the go, smooth driving, acceleration and all that, this car doesn't disappoint at all, because it's super nice to drive. Now in terms of comfort, there's no challenge. In terms of comfort, in terms of suspension pliancy, in terms of soundproofing, in terms of wind noise reduction and all that, right? This is class leading now. This is definitely class leading. It is quieter than the S90, it is quieter than the E-Class, and this one that I'm driving is sort of the I don't know, M Performance or something like that, or M Sport or something like that, because it has 20-inch wheels. This is currently sitting on 20 inches of wheels, but it is pliant. It is very pliant. Not as pliant as the one I drove when this car first came out, my first video, because that one has like I think that's a 19-inch. This is 20, and on low profile tires, but it's so comfortable. It is so pliant and quiet. It's very quiet. So what BMW has done again is, wow, okay, see, these roads are super duper rough, but it's taking it extremely well, extremely well. I just cannot take the lag. It's just there. It's just there all the time. By right, if I've driven hard for a while, the car should but that part of putting down my throttle and then waiting about half a second before it does anything, downshift or turbo boost and all that. That is just there. By right, it shouldn't be there if I'm already in the sport mode, but it's just there. Okay. Other than that, the usual gear shift changes and all that, it doesn't do that Mercedes thing. And actually, no car really does that Mercedes thing, whereby you are slowing down to a junction in, say, your second gear, and no, in the third gear, you're slowing down to a junction in your third gear, rolling, and then you see no car, you want to throttle and go out of the junction. Sometimes it drops to second gear, sometimes it drops to the first. I have no idea. Even at the same speed, all right. So the 7-speed G-tronic is known for that. Not only it lags and all that, but it does that. The 9-speed G-tronic is slightly better, but I still experienced that one time. The 8-speed BMW torque converter gearbox has always been touted as one of the best in the market. So in terms of driving, it's perfect, but that kick down thingy, I have a theory when I drove many Mercedes-Benzes, and that theory is, if you do not go into sort of half disabled, the traction control and all that, right, the car doesn't really want to give you its most savage transmission response, because that is my theory after I drove a lot of Mercedes-Benzes, because they want to protect the gearbox, alright? Which Audi doesn't do. Audi or Volkswagen, they are being honest, because on daily driving like that, you floor your throttle, boom, the car just immediately boom, and then it just pushes it out immediately. Immediate throttle response, but also that also means more straining to the transmission. That is just my theory. And this theory was sort of cemented when Hyundai launched the Ioniq, and then they say that they purposely delayed the throttle response or the transmission response slightly to protect the gearbox. So I suspect Mercedes does that, and I suspect BMW is also doing it in this one, because it cannot be. I'm in the sport mode. If I put it down immediately, it should, but it's not doing that. It purposely doesn't want to do that, because I never experienced this in the previous ones. But granted, this is under full crazy stomping acceleration, full acceleration under normal driving conditions, which I don't think you would do that to your car, okay? So I'm just telling you this is what I experienced. But in terms of how the car behaves, how the car drives, how the car corners, how the car reacts, is top notch. It is top notch. And a close second, if this scores 90, I would say the Volvo S90 is at 85 or 82. It is that close. It is that close. That car's front end, the double wishbones and all that, it really is agile. If you don't believe me, hop into an X5 now, and then you hop into an XC90. There's no difference in how they react. The XC90 is so much bigger, but the Spa platform really is an agile platform. So that was translated into the S90 and the V90, and after driving these two cars over the course of a short period of time, I've driven them repeatedly, those Volvos and these new, the G30 and this guy here, which this is a G30 as well, and the 7 Series. To have Volvo matching BMW closely, that is quite an achievement, because their previous generation product, the V40, the S60, those are really those went the Audi direction, the nose heavy direction, but they were even heavier than Audi. So very uninspiring to drive. Very safe driving feel, but uninspiring to drive. This guy here, again, is a class leader. And if you have a Maserati Ghibli and you thought your car is dynamically better, right? I'm sorry, that car is so far away from these. this G30 or even the S90. The Ghibli cannot match up in terms of dynamic performance and all that. It just doesn't. So yeah, this is still the class leader, and by some margin. I'm gonna go through the car now, because this car not only drives better, quieter than the E-Class, but it's also more spacious. Yeah. Okay, so is the 5 Series, put aside options, put aside pricing, basically throwing everything away, all those, because every country might have different options, different pricing strategy, different specs that they put in the car, but one thing that it cannot change is how the car drives, how the car reacts, how the car cuts out wind noise and all that. In terms of all those things that has nothing to do with price and specs, is the 5 Series the best car in this segment? Yes, it is the best car in this segment because of how it was created and engineered and all that. Spacious, high-tech, soundproofing, driving and all that, this car is. But I don't think this is the best buy. It is the best car. If you put aside pricing and options, I don't think this is the best buy. Yep. Hi guys, Bobby here. Today I have a tarted up 5 Series. Now all 5 Series G30 that was sold are M Sport, but this guy here is another level up. Let me go through it quickly with you, alright? Yeah. First of all, you can see totally dark out grills, okay? And these grills actually open and close, alright? So look at the front. You see everything is dark. So it's almost like the Black Series 5 Series, okay? All the trimmings are in gloss black, the kidney grills, all this, and then you get a carbon fiber splitter across the front. It is very aggressive looking. In fact, this guy, right, I mean, if I put an M5 badge at the back, no one can tell it's not an M5 because it is so aggressive. The whole bumper, the front, the splitters and all that, this is just very, very aggressive. You come to the sides, shortened in P0s, 20-inch rims, and that M Sport caliper. Can you see that? There's that M Sport caliper over there. I think these rims look brilliant. I think they look really, really, really good. And yes, 20 inches, run flat tires, and it's very, very comfortable. I was really surprised by this because when you hear 20 inches and then you hear run flat, by right it should be giving me one hell of a ride, right? But it's very, very comfortable. Comparable to a Camry in terms of comfort, in terms of how its suspension, pliancy and all that. So coming to the sides, yes, there's an M badge. I kid you not, there's an M badge here. So BMW actually helped you to pre-M your M. So these are all the M performance kits that are fitted to this car. Sorry, it's a little bit dirty, alright? These are the, I don't know what they call that again, but it looks good, right? It was in the 7 Series and now it's in the 5 Series, and we think this is another very good design that BMW has on something new, and something I believe the Koreans will copy again. Okay, the stickers down there, M Performance, and then on the under the door handles, I think this thing is just, sorry lah, very, very gaudy. Look at these carbon fiber clad side mirrors, housings. I think they look good. I mean, for those of you who likes to mod your cars, this is pre-modded. And how much all these things cost? 10,000 ringgit. Only 10,000 ringgit. I will go for it, man. This one has a sunroof as well. Okay. The funny thing is that this is still in satin chrome. They did not. This is sort of like matte chrome or satin chrome, huh? This is not the usual chrome. They did not deck out this in black. I don't know why. There's a carbon fiber ducktail spoiler at the back here. Okay, so it's really sporty. Now look at this part. When you see a rear bumper that is in this shape, black color, but in this shape, this is already the M Sport rear bumper of BMWs, okay? When they have this shape, both sides. But now, look at this, man. This aggressive diffuser running underneath the exhaust, finish in carbon fiber, is added because of the M Performance Kit. I think it looks really good, but I'm not sure whether it's practical or not to put a carbon fiber piece here, that because this is not a Lamborghini, this is a daily driven car. So but I like it nonetheless. It's very sporty, okay? It sort of cleans up the airflow underneath the car, because most of the time when you reach the exhaust part, right, you have all sorts of things going on there, but this sort of cleans it up, okay? Look at the rear lights of the 530i, the G30. Sorry, it's a bit dirty, but never mind. So yeah, is this car good looking? It's very good looking. It has a fantastic proportion. Is it handsomer than the F10? I don't think so. I think the F10 is better looking. And in terms of the looks department, I don't know, man. This or the Volvo S90 T6R. What is your opinion on these two cars? These two are definitely the better looking ones currently. Sorry, Mercedes, your current E-Class is not a looker. It is not a looker, okay? We love the interior, it's beautiful, but in terms of exterior, we don't think this is your E-Class does it for us, okay? So there you go. That's the S90. Perfect proportions when compared to this as well. This one is very good looking, but classic BMW proportions. Is it handsomer than the F10? I'm not sure, but it looks wider than the F10, and it is a lot larger than the F10. Okay, let's go inside. Oh, no, I'm gonna start the car first before I hop in, because getting warm, and there are quite some mosquitoes over here. Now, the back seats, okay? So I'm seated at the back here. You might be thinking, is this more spacious than the E-Class? Yes. Is it more spacious than the S90? No. Is the S90 a lot more spacious than this? Yes, by far. The S90, right? If I'm seated here, the knee room availability that I have extends up to here. It's almost that much before I'm touching the rear seats with me sitting in front. So the S90 is the most spacious in class, okay? As we look at everything inside here, of course it's well built. It is a BMW. It's a new generation BMW. And I think everything is alright. Everything is okay. I thought the previous F10 has a powered line. No, right? I could be wrong. That could be the 7 Series. But I don't know why they did not create a recess point. Let me turn this around. My 2008 Audi has a recess point here where this thing sits in, nicely sitting in. Jutting out like that, right? I don't know, man. I just think this is not attention to detail, especially this part. Okay, so yes, it's easy to pull, but my Audi as well, it sort of sits like that, and then it's flush, sort of flush, and then you can pull it up. Okay, small complaints. This car has Harman Kardon speakers, so which is really good. And if you don't know, a lot of brands, Harman Kardon or whatever premium sound system brands, they all belong to Samsung. Okay, all of them belong to Samsung. Yeah, you can check it out. All right. The rear control aircon panels, very nicely finished, very nice design, and this is a far cry from that Wall-E of the Mercedes E-Class and the S-Class, and moreover that Wall-E is covered in a plastic housing that is so low in quality that we find it hard to believe it comes in an S-Class or an E-Class. Okay, but in terms of dashboard layout and design, I still think the E-Class, right, the moment you step in there, you just feel, wow, I am in a 5-star hotel. And another thing, imagine you came off work, okay, you are maybe 50-year-old or 45 and all that, you come off a very stressful working day, and then you step into the cream and beige, very light color interior of the E-Class that we have here in Malaysia, you immediately feel like you're in a spa lounge or something like that. You feel relaxed. But when you step into this car, you felt like you stepped into another boardroom. Do you feel that? Because it's gloss black, it's aluminium, it's dark, it's sporty, it's aggressive. You don't feel as relaxed as you would have stepped into an E. The biggest difference that I felt, even at my age. Sometimes I like spa more than pub. So, yeah, that's how I felt. Okay, at the back here, in terms of the way I sit, is perfect. It's comfortable. The sitting position and all that is, yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, let me pull this down. Okay, you have this new mechanism for cup holders. So it's sort of, did I broke it? Why does it sound like that? Why is it making that clack, 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 clack? Ooh, is this the correct way to operate it? Okay, I like the mechanism. I don't really like how the way it makes those sounds, because it sounded like I broke it or something like that. Okay, can I open this? Oh, I cannot. Oh, I can't. I thought I would have been able to open this and put something in there, and then I can open this. And this is just nah. Okay. What else? I cannot imagine that part cannot be open. Okay. Down here I have some 12 volt. I have two 12 volt sockets, but there are no USB ports behind here. They should learn from Myvi, because Myvi actually routed a USB port over here and a pocket here so that you can charge and slot it in, because Myvi doesn't come with a console. But that is attention to detail, right? You have a handbag, snatch proof thingy over here, and then a USB port over here with a pocket there. I really appreciate what Myvi did for that. Okay, so in terms of rear leg room space, this is almost comparable to the F10. Actually, I don't think there is any incremental space that can be found behind here, and is it 3 passenger friendly? It's alright. My feet is able to nicely lodge in between the base of the seat over here and where the rail starts. So this part is very crucial, because if you have the rails impeding into the space inside here, it might not be that comfortable for the middle passenger. Okay, so that's about it. But in terms of space, yeah, it's brushing, but it's totally fine. No sedans are true 5-seaters, except the Tesla sedan, Tesla Model S. No sedans are true 5-seaters. Every single sedan out there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the middle one is sort of a +1. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to the front. But in terms of build quality and materials and all that, this is greatly improved now, huh? The door bins, the door pockets are not full length, but I like how they angle this. I'm able to put large bottles, and it's alright. It's totally alright. This guy here, I find it a bit too thin for my liking. I would have preferred it to be slightly thicker so that it's more comfortable. But no matter how, when you have this in the car, it's already the best thing to have, because on long distance driving, I would want to slot my palms in and just rest. And this is just wide enough for my forearm. The one in the S90, right, is slightly, it's just that bit not wide enough that I end up my hands always falling, because it doesn't have this. It's just one piece of cushion, and as I put my arm there, right, long distance driving, I always felt my arm wasn't fully nicely supported, so it was a little bit tiring in the S90. This is perfect. This is just perfect. Buttonry. BMW should really look at Mercedes-Benz because their buttons are all finished in satin chrome, and that makes the car feels a lot more premium. This material, look at this. This is what most Mercedes felt like. Everything here is satin chrome. Even the Vito van. Even the Vito van is finished in that. Yes, some people like it, some people don't, but these type of slightly rubberized surface, haha, it's gonna get sticky. I kid you not, I guarantee you this part, this panel here will get sticky in 3 or 4 years. I am very sure of that. I'm very familiar with this material. It's also in my 6 Series. Okay, I'm not fair. That's not right. No. My 6 Series is already 6 years old. It doesn't turn gooey yet. Okay, let's hope it doesn't in this car as well. Steering. This is a new steering wheel. It's funny, right? This is M Sport, M Performance, M yada yada, but this is not the M Sport steering. It doesn't look as good as the M Sport steering, but I don't know whether you heard in my previous videos or not. The M Sport steering, right, is, even though it is the best looking steering in the business, it is not the best quality steering in the business. This guy here, all this chunky feeling thing, right? This steering feels so much more substantial and solid and quality than the M Sport steering that BMW has. The rounded ones with the sides, that steering looks super duper flimsy. Okay, but this one is fantastic, but it doesn't look as good. Okay, will I install the M Sport steering in my 6 Series? If I could, I would, because it looks so damn good. I would install it. Alright, coming to the sides, nothing much here, no surprises. This is why is there a GoPro mount in here? Is that Bing's? Maybe it's Bing's. Anyway, it's covered in felt inside here, and not much of surprises after that. There isn't much surprise after that. I am trying very hard to find a wireless, because in the 7 Series, right, I can slot this guy here somewhere to wireless charge it. But here I couldn't find it. And there is a USB port here, so I suspect they might just come with a short USB port for me to charge this, which is not a very good experience when you have something that looks like spaceship and then you need a USB port to charge it. That just doesn't sort of complete the emotional presentation that you want to achieve, right? So yeah, so it's covered, it's nice. I really like this surface. It might not be the most expensive inlays that BMW has for their cars, but I love it. It's cold to the touch, definitely aluminium, and then it has that pattern going on, and I love it. I just love it. Here, I do not have an understanding of why this center console is so small, because it is way smaller than the one I have in my 6 Series. Yes, the 6 Series is a wider car, so this part of the 6 Series is almost this wide. It's almost this much wider, 2-inch wider than this, but I just find that it's not deep enough. Other than that, is this cabin nice? Yes. Is this cabin a very cosseting place to be in? It's just alright because of the color scheme. I believe it's black grey. The seats, are they comfortable? Yes, they are, but I think the bolsters are slightly too aggressive for my liking. I am fat, okay? I am undeniably fat. I'm 97 kg, so I buy pants that are 38 in size, so I cannot say that this is aggressive. I just need to slim down, maybe. I'm just too fat. Yeah. Alright, so here's my review of the new 5 Series. And do I want to go through this? I actually would love to, but it's crazy. There's a lot of things going on in here. I give you an example. You look at this screen here, right? Now I go to navigation. I go inside navigation. I just put a recent destination. Look at how the screen changes, huh? I press it, and then we're gonna start driving there, and boom. See? Very subtle, but it's there. Very clear cut. One big disappointment is that there's no head-up display, which BMW makes the best head-up display, but it's not here. And it's in the previous F10, so I do not know why. Now, coming back to the conclusion. Is this the best car in its class? Yes. in terms of how it drives, how comfortable it is, space and all that. Basically more towards the driving and the comfort, okay? Is the E-Class comfortable? Yes, very comfortable. But the E-Class, I don't know why, it doesn't have a left foot rest. So when I was driving the E-Class, right, my left foot has like a suggestion of a space for me to put on, but it's carpeted. It's not in a shape that is for you to put your foot. So I inevitably my foot just slide and it went below the brakes, and then I have to take it out. So that is one big weird thing that happened to the E-Class, because in the previous generation E-Class they have that. I mean, why would you have a car without a left foot rest? I do not understand that part. The E-Class interior is prettier. It's definitely prettier than this. Both the Volvo interior and the E-Class interior is prettier than this interior, but in terms of fit and finish, this one is better than the E-Class interior. In terms of quality of materials, the S90 is better than both of them. In terms of what they use to finish the interior, the S90 beats them. In terms of space, the S90 is larger than both these two cars. The E-Class is slightly tighter than the 5 Series in terms of interior room, but the S90 just outsized them by far. Okay, now power, price, blah blah, everything. In terms of price, this guy is about 388, 398. Okay, the two versions. This guy is 10,000 ringgit more, so it's negligible as well. The E-Class is in an interesting position, because they have the E200 that starts at 340, 350. Okay, but that is seriously down on power. 184 horsepower. A Hyundai Elantra will come to your tail and flash you as you get out of the way. Okay, and then you have the E250, which sounded like the competitor to this, but actually it's not. It's only 211 horsepower, which is 2005 for 2-liter turbo outputs from Germany. You have to go up to the E300, which is not available, for 245 horsepower, which is 8 horsepower short of this and 10 horsepower short of the T5 Volvo S90, which is no longer available. Okay, so it's a bit weird, because the Mercedes, right, you have to come up to 390 over 1,000, which is 400. Okay, let's put it at 400,000. You have to come up to 400,000 to get 280 horsepower with the combined output between the 2-liter turbocharged engine and the hybrid powertrain, the E350e. You need to pay about this price for this, whereas the 5 Series currently is the same price as the E350e, which is a traditional 2-liter turbo car with 252 horsepower. Okay, it's down compared to the hybrid, but I don't know whether you guys will screw me. Oh, why are you comparing non-hybrid to a hybrid? Of course, the hybrid is more powerful, but when your battery runs out, blah, 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 blah. Some people prefer non-hybrid cars. Some people prefer that because they just find the complication a bit. They just couldn't take it, alright? But I think it's high time that they are ready now. If you are talking about the previous active hybrid, no, I don't have confidence in that. The previous Audi A6 hybrid, that is horrible. Okay, all these previous ones, even the S400H, that one is already old. The old ones, I do not have confidence in them. But the newer ones, yeah, I think they have sort of sorted everything out. We rarely hear issues from them anymore. And I think the hybrids work now. So when you consider on that perspective, the Volvo S90 T8 inscription, which is the highest spec S90 T8, 407 horsepower with that crystal gear knob thingy, you know, the screen and all that, the booster seats behind, you get the sunroof, panoramic roof and all that, all those things, and it's only 348,000. That's a bargain. That car is the best buy. This might be a better car when it comes to balancing comfort, soundproofing, handling, but the S90 is a better buy to me because it's 50,000 ringgit cheaper, but based on what it gives and its horsepower, it should be about 200,000 ringgit more expensive or 150,000 ringgit more expensive. Yes.